Hi, this is Erin from Blossy Bee. Welcome to my channel. The plan for this video is to make as many beautiful Christmas ornaments, decorations and home decor pieces as I can with silicone molds and decorative elements from my recent Temu haul. If you haven't yet watched that video, I'll include the link in the description box for you. There were so many crafting bargains. For these makes, I'm going to be using all the resins. Well, that is eco casting powder, epoxy resin, 15-minute cure polyurethane resin and UV resin. This is part of the Christmas 2025 International Crafting Collaboration organised by Tracy from Mini Scenes GB. You won't believe what a binge-worthy visual treat we have for you. I'll tell you lots more as we go along. Let's get started. The first thing I did was take all of the moulds and fill them with water one at a time and measure how many mils they each held. Then, using my conversion rate of 1.8, I converted the mils to grams and the amount specifically I would need for eco casting powder. I'm using Solidcrete from Solid Solutions, which is a beautiful, pristine white eco casting powder, very environmentally friendly. It's a 3-to-1 blend, so 3 parts powder to 1 part water. I measure the water out first, then I add in the required amount of casting powder, give it a thorough stir, and then just pour it into the mould. Now you do have about 5 to 10 minute working time with this. It can be tinted in any colour you like, but my preference for this first casting of these was to see what they would look like in white. I've also got a bit of a favouring white decor pieces at the moment. I just think they look so stylish. So the first mould that I did there was the little Dachshund pair of moulds, and they are looking gorgeous. These are the 2 Christmas trees. They're a 3D Christmas tree. One is taller and one is shorter. Now you may have noticed that my scales are in a plastic bag. That's because I have nearly destroyed them. In fact, I'm on to another set. So this is a way of protecting them and preventing water and any other materials from getting into them. And I will admit, it was the measuring the moulds with water that did it. I definitely got water into them, so they are now wrapped up and safe. So I just did the little pig mould, and then this is the gorgeous infinity heart mould. And look how cute these little reindeers are. I'm loving these. You'll see me give a little tap to some of the moulds, or I might tap the table instead. And that's in the hope of dislodging any air bubbles that may have found themselves clinging to the edges of the moulds. Unfortunately, some moulds are just going to have trapped air or little bubbles. It's just the way it is. You can do everything you can to minimise it, but sometimes the shape of the mould prevents that from happening. This is the 2-piece reindeer head mould, and I think these are designed to put like a lollipop or something like that in for the nose, something cute hanging from the tree. And this is another reindeer. This is a hanging reindeer, more of a cartoon style. So I've got 4 reindeers on, no, 5, pardon me, 5 reindeers on the go. Now, I have missed a little bit here, I'm so sorry, but there are some little hanging ornaments that I'm doing, and also the little Christmas tree there, and just doing as many of these as I can. Well, I want some for Christmas decorations. I would like some to be Christmas gifts, and I'm also always so excited to see what the cast pieces are going to look like. And with a really high quality eco casting powder like this, you don't have to wait very long at all. And here we go. So first of all, I couldn't bear it. I had to demold these first. So I'm in love. So that's the bigger of the two, and this one's the baby, and they have come out so beautifully, very crisp. Now, these are that one is the one that Timo called it a pentagram, but no, it's a star, and it's a little hanging ornament, and then the bell is part of a 3-part set of ornaments. This is the little hanging reindeer ornament. Now, this is a little Christmas tree, and as soon as I demolded this, I can see that there's lots of opportunities to decorate this with little ornaments hanging from it. This is the second of the set of 3 Christmas baubles, and this is the last. I've called the one round and then the other one just a bauble. Here are our super cute little dachshunds, and they are gorgeous. Dachshunds are really popular where I live at the moment, and I can see why. They're just so cute. Sometimes you see short-haired ones, sometimes they're long-haired ones, but they're pretty much always cute. And when you see a puppy, you can barely believe how tiny they are. Okay, now this one, it's a Christmas tree, but it looks like something else to me. And I'm not going to say it on YouTube, but yeah, it's got a distinctive look to it. It's quite amusing every time I look at it now. I absolutely horrified my son when I pointed it out, but you know, once seen, it can't be unseen. And this is the second of the little trees, and they're really quite cute. Okay, this is our infinity heart mould, and just look how beautiful that is. And it does sit up really well. Our little pig. And this one is the candle holder. I think you could use it for a little pencil holder or anything like that. Very good. Now, this is the little apple pot. So it's a pot with a lid, and the lid has a little apple stalk and a leaf, and it's a dear little pot, and it came out so beautifully. The only problem is, I think when I saw it on Temu, I thought it was a holly pot with a holly leaf. So it's not terribly festive, but then it's still a really lovely gift. So you've got that as well. I'm really happy with that one. This is the reindeer heads. Now, as soon as I started releasing that one from the mould, it just snapped. So eco casting powder tends to be quite brittle. It can be quite brittle when you first demould. It does reach its full strength after a couple of days, but you do have to be careful with thin little pieces. Now look at these. These are so delicate and gorgeous. There is a little bit of overpour in some of them, but I was able to just use a toothpick actually and press against those, and they just popped straight out. So all 6 of these are absolutely gorgeous. So I'd highly recommend this mould. I think it's quite stunning. and especially done in the white, they look really beautiful. Next up on the crafting table is the gorgeous set of temporary tattoos. Now what I've done is I've selected a few molds. Some of these were already ones I owned, and then I'll be introducing some of the ones I've purchased in my previous video, and I'm going to just work out which tattoos would suit which mold, and I'm really keen to find out if polyurethane resin will pick up the tattoos. I've never tried it before, so I'm really keen to find out. Now, some of these tattoos were too large, so as always when I'm working with decals and transfers and stickers and tattoos, I just go in and chop off the bits I don't want, and I always keep a little pile to the side because I usually find that most of the pieces get used up, and I have a lot of fun laying them out. Now, to apply temporary tattoos, you need to peel away the clear protective sheet. If you don't, and you lay it down onto the mould with that sheet, the tattoo will adhere to the plastic, not to the mould, and you won't be happy. So what you do is you, as I said, peel off that sheet, press it down into the mould just as I'm showing you here, and then you take a sponge with a little bit of water on it and press down. Now make sure you press all over and get every little part quite damp, and then when it's ready it will slide and you'll just know that it's time to take it off. Now I'm having a really close look at this one because I think it just missed a tiny bit. That rarely happens with me with temporary tattoos, but it was also easily fixed. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply all of these tattoos, and then I'm going to set them aside to dry in the sun for about an hour. I don't want to risk any water being on them when I go to pour the polyurethane resin. Resin and water do not mix. Oh, look at this. What a rocket scientist I am. This Merry Christmas. I knew it was a backwards tattoo, but of course, backwards to them is frontwards to me in this case. But if you do put a tattoo down that you're not happy with, just use the ball of your thumb to roll it off and then just sponge the rest off and keep going. They're quite easy to remove. Okay, I'll just go very quickly through these and then we get to the polyurethane resin. Now, if you have not used polyurethane resin before, oh my goodness, it is quite stressful. It is a very rapid cure. You have about 60 seconds to stir. I'm using a pigment from Solid Solutions, one of their beautiful pearl micas in Sinstar Gold. I first of all blended the colour into part A, and then when I was happy I added in part B. 60 seconds maximum stirring, and I know for a fact by the end of these pourings my hand was burning with that cup. It gets so hot. This is the second batch I've mixed up. I would never ever make that much in one go, and I've used the same colour and it just looks so silky, almost edible. That big mould that I've done there was called a gnome mould. I think it's just a sitting gnome mould, and the pink mould is the one that Timu said was a bear mould, but I'm pretty sure they are capybaras. I've had a little bit left over, so I've done the little hanging reindeer ornament mould and the tree, and then I do end up doing another capybara. But yes, as I said, it is extremely fast curing. This is just 15 minutes after I poured, and these are ready for demolding. Oh, I had a little heart as well. It's cute. Now, this is a little tree that I've had previously, so just a cute little mould. And now I'm very excited to see the bear / capybara mould. Is it a bear? Is it a capybara? I'm 100% confident it's, well, what is it? I'm not sure. I'm going to call it a capybara because I think that's what they look like. You have to let me know in the comments. Is it a bear? Is it a capybara? I'm only saying the capybara because it's got very similar features to a pair of capybara molds that I purchased a few weeks ago. So anyway, look, they're cute. This is our hanging reindeer mold. Now, here we go with the first of our temporary tattoos, and these have come out beautifully. So I'm so happy to answer the question, can you use temporary tattoos with polyurethane resin? The answer is yes, you can. So the heat generated during the curing process hasn't affected the tattoos. They look beautiful. They've got sort of an old-fashioned feel to them with the colours I've chosen for the background, and I kind of love that. There's our sitting gnome. I'm not convinced he looks jolly, but he's still very sweet looking. And this is the star that I had a little bit of trouble with that temporary tattoo, but it came out beautifully. And this is one of the set of 3 molds, and look how cute that tree is. Now, this one is just a large ornament mold I've had previously. Really happy with that. This is the bell mold from the 3-pack of hanging Christmas ornaments. These are all just little pieces that I chopped off other temporary tattoos. So they're just little extras, which is good. Another large bauble. And then lastly, we've got our circular Christmas bauble and another very sweet one. So, whew, that worked out well. I'm ticking off all the resins in this video. First of all, we used eco casting powder, sometimes known as acrylic resin. Then we used polyurethane resin, and now we're using an epoxy fast cure resin. And all of these products are from Solid Solutions. And I'm using the little beautiful white glitter from Just Resin, and I'm using, I don't love using volume, but I'm being good. You know, just in case Santa's watching. I am measuring it out properly. Now, these are some gorgeous big stirring sticks that I also got from Solid Solutions, along with the cup that I'm using, and they have been fantastic. These marked cups, I think, if you're working with volume, are really invaluable. So sprinkling in these beautiful, you can see how fine they are. They just sort of filling the air. It's just as well I have a mask on because they're very, very fine particles. So I've chosen these molds and this mixture because I really want to try and get a crystal sparkly effect, and I'm hoping that this will do it. Now, this resin is usually able to be demolded in around 4 hours, so it's very fast, and it would reach its full strength in about double that time. So I've decanted that into a much smaller little cup because this little snowflake mold, I could just tell it was going to be my arch nemesis from the moment I unpacked it. It is so tiny, teeny tiny, and almost impossible to pour straight into it. I think maybe if you're using a deep pour resin, which is really runny, almost water-like, with no glitter or anything in it, and you put it into a needle-tipped bottle to apply into the mould, you might be okay. But this did not feel very accurate. I've also done the little Christmas decorations ornament and the hanging spindle ornament. And now this is this gorgeous faceted snowflake hanging ornament. Now I do resort to just the smushing method with the snowflake mould, just to make sure I've got some resin in there, just pouring it, pushing it, and hoping that the pieces are filled. Now I did have quite a lot left over, and I decided to pour another set of these gorgeous reindeer. And here we are, 4 hours later, and these are all ready to demould. So excited to see how they turn out. The first piece I'm demoulding is the little circular Christmas ornament mould, and they're quite sweet. I'm not fully in love with them. They are probably not as crisp as I would like, but I'm going to do them again and see how we go. Now look at this. These snowflakes have come out so beautifully. They are so fine. They're very delicate, and there is some overpour on some of them, but just look at that. They are gorgeous. I can't believe they came out as well as they did actually. When I pour these again, if I use fast cure resin, I'm going to let them sit for about double the amount of time because they are still a little bit soft. It's very easy though just to flatten them down, but that could actually work to your advantage if you were thinking of putting them onto a curved surface to decorate. So I've gone from intensely disliking this mould to thinking it's got a lot of potential. Okay, let's have a little look at the tree mould. Now we've done this one already in the eco casting powder, and now we've got this one in the beautiful sparkling frosted crystal colours. And look at this spindle ornament. It is gorgeous, and I've never seen heart holographic patterns in a mould before. I don't think I have. And they are just gorgeous. They're just catching the light every which way. So they'll come out beautifully. Now let's have a look at this big snowflake mould. And it's gorgeous. I'm so happy with it. It's got so many beautiful facets and edges to it, and I don't think there was an air bubble to be found. Now here we go. Look at this. A snow white reindeer and a snow white baby for the reindeer. And again, they've come out just perfect, and really happy with them. Now this next bit's a little bit frustrating, and I apologise. I didn't record pouring these. I thought I had, but I definitely hadn't. So it's a 6 key tag mould on the left, and I've just used a sandy coloured resin pigment paste along with some sparkles. I think I just put some glitter in there, and these are going to become fridge magnets, and I'm going to use those gorgeous elf truck decals, UV DTF transfers, on them. And I also re-poured a set of the little reindeer after the unfortunate incident with the eco casting powder. The batch I'm working on right now is polyurethane resin again, the same as the others on this mat, and I've used evergreen pigment paste from Solid Solutions, and I'm also popping in a little bit of green glitter and a little bit of silver glitter, and I'm pouring it into the freestanding tree mould, and I'm hoping that we get a really pretty green. I think it's going to be like a sage green, but I'm just not sure, because remember, you're mixing pigment with white effectively. If you don't tint this product, it is a white or an off-white colour, so it's going to dilute any colour that you use. Now I'm giving it a little bit of a wiggle and a jiggle, and then I'm going to fill that to the top. It looks so luscious, doesn't it? It's funny though, I can't help but remember the cup was always feeling like it was burning in my hand. And I'm doing one of the pair of gnomes, and I'm not sure what they look like as yet. They did say they were Christmas gnomes, but I suspect they might not be, but more about that in a moment. You never have very long to find out when you're using polyurethane resin, because 15 minutes later, here we are, demoulding time, and she looks like a character off How to Train Your Dragon, like a Swedish Helga as well. And I'm pretty sure that's a 4-leaf clover on her hat, which would not make her a Christmas gnome. It would make her a St. Patrick's Day gnome, maybe. So that was a little bit sneaky of Timu. I will message about that. She's still very cute. Now, let's have a look at this tree. It came out a lot paler than I thought, but I don't hate the colour. I think it's quite pretty, but definitely I have had some air pockets at the end of the branches, so I'm going to need to make that again with more attention to detail. Now, that large reindeer looks so cute, but the little bit I'm pointing to there, it's got an indent, and I'm wondering if I did that as I was demoulding, and it's made him look a little bit sort of sad, or, you know, quizzical. The little one came out just perfect, which was great, and I think that's a really sweet little piece. And there we go. I just happened to have a Ferrero Rocher on hand, of course, to see what they look like, and they are gorgeous. I'd be really happy to have one of those hanging on the Christmas tree, unless you've got dogs, or probably cats too might think it's a little bit too much to bear. Now let's have a look at these key tag moulds. Now, a few videos back I introduced these moulds, and I actually went in with a little scalpel tool and I cut off the post for them. So they are meant to have a little hole in the end so that they could be used as a bag tag or a key tag, but I prefer my moulds without them. So now it's time to use these absolutely gorgeous UV DTF gnome truck stickers, and I'm just loving them so much. They are so vibrant and so beautiful. I've chosen 2 white, 2 red and 2 green trucks, and I've done them all in their matching shape. Don't ask me why, it's just one of those things. So I'm just making sure that I'm burnishing that so it all comes off beautifully, and then I'm peeling off the top protective layer, and gosh, I'm so happy with these. Look at this. So this is going to be a fridge magnet. UV DTF decals or stickers are very resilient and very hard wearing, but I'm still going to put a coat of UV resin over the top. So the next resin we're going to be using is UV resin. And that will be 4 different resin products that we've used in this video, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to use the Solid Solutions product. It comes in this giant 1 litre container, which I'm loving. I just feel like I don't have to be stingy with it. I don't quite know how else to explain that. I'm just using a toothpick to gently drag the resin right up to the edge of each of the pieces without it going over. So you're trying to maintain your surface tension to get a lovely domed appearance. You do also have to watch out for any little almost like bald patches. So little areas in the middle that don't quite have enough resin on them, because what will happen is that the resin will shrink away from that patch and you'll be left with a sort of a little hole. So after I've done that, I give them a little wave over with a little torch to pop all the bubbles, and then I cure them under a UV lamp for 60 seconds first of all, and then when I've finished all of them, I give them all another 60 seconds, so they get 120 seconds in total. And I'm really happy with how these turned out. They aren't as bright as I'd like them to be because I need to do most of my UV resin of an evening so that no sunlight's coming through into my workspace and the resin curing without me wanting it to cure. So it is usually an evening job. After I finished all of those, I am ready to have another turn at making the Christmas tree. I'm using a bright red this time, and I'm really trying to focus on those branches, and I even get a little pokey tool and poke in just to see if I can dislodge any air that might be trapped in there. And I really want to try and minimize the chance of having the end of those horizontal sort of branch pieces filled with bubbles. And with the little bit I've got left over, I'm going to pop it into the reindeer. And by now this cup is burning in my hand. I've got 2 arabesque ornament molds sitting here. I unfortunately overflowed one. I go to pour a heart and it's all over. Look at this. It's cured. Nothing you can do about it. So, moving on. Why didn't I learn? I made far too much up in the last batch and I've just done it again. I'm using Sinstar Gold this time, and I'm going to be making the 2 little gnomes. The girl that I did before in the green and the little boy gnome. And again, I'm just fiddling around with these molds because I don't want to have any bubbles or anything like that. And you just don't have time for it with this product. You really need to just get it into the mold. So I am a little bit frustrated with myself watching this bag because, as I said, exactly the same thing happens. I get 2 hearts, 3 hearts. No, I don't get 3 hearts. The 3rd heart just was glug, the last little bit. Anyway, I only have to wait 15 minutes to see how we went. So this is the little square pendant mould. I just did one little sample piece there. This is one of the arabesque moulds, but it's the one that I overflowed, and it's such a shame because these are such a sweet shape. I love these. So I ended up with 2 hearts rather than the 4 that I poured because of that fast curing. Here is our little red hanging reindeer. Super cute. I love how glossy this polyurethane resin is. It doesn't look like something that's just 15 minutes ago was a liquid. It's impressive. And here's the little Christmas tree that's come out very pretty. And now let's have a look and see what our girl looks like in God. She's cute. She's still not Christmas, but she's cute. And this is the first time I've seen the boy version, and he's adorable. But again, I'm almost certain that is clover on his hat, which to me would symbolise Ireland. Okay. Oh, I was so hoping that this tree would come out and look pretty. I've done it in I think it's called Raspberry Rush, this gorgeous mica powder from Solid Solutions, and it's just beautiful. I loved these. As soon as I saw them, I just thought they were so magical. They're UV DTF stickers, and they're sort of a white winter wonderland Christmassy vibe, and lots of cute little animals. Now this heart and all of the pieces that I'm about to use were either cast right at the beginning of this video when I was making up all the new molds, or the little pieces that I had from a previous pour, and I just wanted to see what these UV DTF decals looked like and whether they would adhere to the Solid Solutions Solidcrete Eco Casting Powder, and it was perfect. So I have let these cure for a couple of days and there was no issue whatsoever. I'm going to give it a coat of UV resin using exactly the same technique as I did for the other magnets. So popping a little bit on, dragging it to the edges, popping any bubbles, and then giving it a 60-second initial cure. And then I've gone ahead and done all of the rest, and then done little batches of another 60 seconds as well. And they've turned out so beautifully. So there was no sealer on these. They are just the raw eco casting powder. And look, I can't tell you how excited I am. I have had a battle with eco casting powder and decals and stickers and things like that. Every now and then it'll work, but more often than not, they just won't stay stuck down. Now, notice that little UV DTF sticker, it was faulty. So when I pulled off the sticker, it clung to the back piece and was unusable. It had actually torn in half, and that does happen sometimes. It's not very good when it does happen because UV GTF stickers can be quite expensive, and if you don't get many in a set, it could mean that you're left short. So just, I think the only solution or potential solution I could think of is that you firmly rub the backs of these down before using them, but you shouldn't have to. I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, putting the UV DTF stickers on all of them and then giving them a coat of UV resin, and you'll see them shortly. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the polyurethane resin, and this time we're going bright red. Now this is a brand new colour. It's called Cherry Red, and it's from Solid Solutions, and I'm also using the bright red glitter and a little sprinkling of Pixie Magic. Now this little mould is quite thin, and I'm hoping to just mix up a very small batch. I want to be very controlled. I don't want to overflow it. I certainly don't want to have any overheating and just curing on the spot problems. So I'm just going to take my time, use a small container, see how it goes. I almost couldn't believe how neat I was with these. They didn't overflow, and I seemed to get a really good amount in there first time round, and then had plenty for this beautiful arabesque ornament mould. And here they are. I'd already demolded them. I was so excited. I really wanted to see what this cherry red came out like, and they are stunning. They've got quite a lot of detail, and I don't think I got many little bubbles. I'm just looking. No, they're not bad. And look, if I had time, I would go over these with a gold or silver wax and just pick out all of those beautiful features. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate you watching my collaboration video, and a huge thank you to Tracy from Mini Scenes GB for organising this, and to all of my friends in Crafty YouTubers United who've put so much work into having the most amazing binge-worthy visual feast of a playlist of videos you could imagine, and I'd strongly encourage you to just start at the beginning and work your way through. They are worth it. The playlist will be linked in the description box. And of course, all of the materials, molds, etc. that I've used will be in the description box as well. And don't forget that Solid Solutions offers you a discount if you use the code GlossyBee at checkout, and all of that information will be there as well. Now, I've got some photos and videos for you, but if you've made it this far through the video, I just wanted to share with you that I ran into some issues while I was filming. Tracy was very kind to still allow me to submit later, but things aren't finished. I would have dearly loved to have every single piece decorated and painted and, you know, beautiful strings and bows and all of that, and it just didn't happen. And I do hope that you understand. I still hope that you found value in the video, and I'm going to keep working on these pieces because I just need to get the video uploaded, and then perhaps I'll share them in either a future video or on my YouTube posts. So thank you again, and let's have a look at the end products. This tray is full of beautiful white Solidcrete Eco Casting Powder items, both gifts for Christmas and decorations for Christmas. This tray is our beautiful polyurethane resin little gnomes, trees, capybara/bears, hanging reindeer and tree. Next we have our Solid Solutions Fast Cure resin, and this is the set that we did in that beautiful frosted white. We've got the 2 reindeer, the beautiful snowflake, a tree, and the 2 spindle hanging decorations. Apologies for the glare on these. This is very, very late at night in my kitchen and it's not great lighting. So these are the polyurethane resin that we put over the temporary tattoos, and I discovered they work, and so they look great. And now these are so beautiful. These are the white Christmas little characters. These were the UV DTF stickers onto white Eco Casting powder, the Solidcrete pieces. I'm so happy with these. They look so gentle and just very pretty. Now we have our cherry red polyurethane beautiful Christmas ornaments, and I've finished 2 of these off. I've just popped a little gold bead on the string, then a beautiful red crystal bead, another gold bead, and then done a little loop, and they are gorgeous. And last but not least, here are our Santa truck, Christmas, elf, all of the good things. These are the UV DTF stickers on the polyurethane resin key tags. And lastly, here is a video of each of my 2 favourite sets. The first is this gorgeous white Christmas on the white natural eco casting powder solidcrete. I just love these. There's something so special about them. And then of course I'm absolutely in love with the fridge magnets. These are the Santa and truck ones. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.